Welcome to the Bradford City v Stevenage pre-match preview. Um, we'll start off with Derek Adams. A lot of fans have been wanting him gone after that defeat on Saturday to Harrogate. Personally, I won't get rid of him yet. He's very much under pressure. I don't feel like we should get rid of a manager after just 3 matches unbeaten without a win. But I think it's the way we've lost games and drawn games this season that's infuriating. I think the tempo were too slow for starters against Harrogate, and all the fans want to see is quick movements of the ball and, more chances created. I mean, when you look at the stats, they do shots, well, they sort of say that we do take a lot of shots, but I think I think the stats don't tell the story this season, and Derek Adams has been quizzed by that by many media journalists, but he's come out and said, well, look at the shots, but the stats don't always tell a story, as seen this season for us. But we'll start off. We'll go to the preview with Stevenage unbeaten at home in their last 4 games. They're quite free scoring at home. Away isn't the same story, but we're away. They're very good at home, Stevenage, compared to how they are away. They tend to score a few goals. I think they've had a couple of. I think they won a game 3-0, a 3-3 draw to Sutton in the last 4 home games. So yeah, but they've drawn and lost their last 2, and we've drawn and lost our last 2. So quite even in that way. But theirs were away and ours were. One were home and one were away. So, but yeah, we're on our travels tomorrow night. Hopefully we can get a win. In terms of the team news, for City, I think it'll be the same. But you can never think the team news will be the same with Derek Adams, because he just tends to change it all the time, and he did that at Plymouth, constantly changing the back 4, back 5, and I could tell he were going to change to a back 5 on Saturday, but it didn't work. And if something don't work, he tends to change it instead of sticking with it, and you can only feel like the players will only disagree with that because they can't get settled into a formation, into a philosophy. We don't know what his tactics are that much, really, because every time we seem to be moving forward, he changes it, and when we seem to be moving backwards, he changes it. He just changes the team and the formation too much. I mean, it tends to be a 4-5-1, not a 4-2-3-1, because the wingers come in. Well, if you call them wingers, the more attacking midfielders, aren't they? But they sort of come in, but when we're defending, they are quite deep. So it's probably more of a 4-5-1. He's probably. I can easily see him change it to the 4-5-1 again. But he does have a frequency to change it to a 5. I mean, Swindon away went back to a 5, and we beat them. And I'm not sure about this, but we beat Swindon with a back 5, and then he might have gone back to a 4-5-1, or he might have kept the 5 and then we lost, and they changed it to a 4-5-1. He seems to get the formation, get the way we're playing, and then he changes it. You can't do that in modern day management. You've got to have well, sometimes you do, depending on the team, but it can't be good for the players to constantly be changing it between 2. How do they set up for games? In the week they have this, but the players can't get used to it because they're constantly changing between the 2 formations. I mean, Folds were at left centre back for the first time on Saturday. He changed it in the game back to a 4-5-1, and he put Nathan Delfonso as a centre mid. Now, when managers do that, it seems like they're under pressure because they just shoehorse a, not ain't shoehorse, is it? It's a, well, just put a square peg in a round hole, don't they? When they're under pressure. And it didn't look good on Saturday, did Delfonso, but they were playing way out of position. He's not a central midfielder. He was way too deep, and I can only imagine if a striker's been. I mean, you've got Harry Kane, haven't you? He seems to be a deep line forward. Comes back a bit too much, but that's under Mourinho, under Nuno. I haven't watched too much under him at Conte, but I can't imagine a striker coming on and wanting to sit in the midfield. He must have been told that. Why would you bring a striker on and put him in midfield? On the other hand, I thought Songo looked better in defensive midfield when he stepped up. But I can see the team being the same. But I can't as well. I can easily see him changing it. The only thing I'm certain on, it will be Bassong in goal. Falcao will pull a player, will probably pick his favourites. But yeah, I can't tell you the team. Have a good one.